Whether you are able bodied or physically disabled, we do not measure one's capabilities by what they cannot do. Rather, we measure capabilities by what they can do. This is the mental we should take on for every sport, especially wheelchair athletics. We are dedicated to shedding light on the true competitiveness and athletic edge of wheelchair sport. Wheelchair sport is more than just a way to give those who are paralyzed something different to do. For some, it is their passion and life. Here today we have Jose Arriaga and Jennifer Mack, both wheelchair tennis players who play professionally and for the Adaptive Athletics program at the University of Houston.
So I'm like a little bit of a different story. Like I can walk, but I didn't realize that I could play in a wheelchair. It so happened that I was traveling with the guys, and we were talking about my situation and how it's really difficult for me to play standing or to even walk for long standing. And then they told me, the USA coaches for wheelchair tennis had told me that I was eligible to play because I can't play standing. So that's kind of how it happened.
Well, it's cool to know that it's so broad. Like you don't necessarily have to be confined to the wheelchair to be allowed to play with those who are.
Yes.
That's really great because sometimes we get into so many particular restrictions when it comes to things in general that it makes it really hard to be like open to everybody and actually inclusive.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's cool about the community.
Right.
And so what are your biggest issues facing the wheelchair community? I know you don't always like navigate with the wheelchair, but in your experience with tennis and wheelchair tennis in particular.
Any difficulties?
Yeah, anything that you feel like could change and be better, or struggles you have, or things that you feel like, you know, aren't the best.
That's a good question. I don't think I have any.
Well, that's good. Okay, and so what were your expectations after you found out that you were able to, you know, play with the wheelchair?
Not really any expectations. I just fell in love with it. So now I've been playing for the past 5 years.
So is it something more like leisure for you, or do you compete as well?
I do compete as well.
Cool.
I wish I could compete more, but I have a full-time job, so I don't get to play as much as I'd like. Adaptive program has allowed me to play a little bit more than I was able to play in the past, so that's great.
Okay, and is this the first program you ever were a part of?
Yeah, we have a group of friends that, you know, we try to fundraise together and go to tournaments together, but we can only afford so much because we don't have the help that we have here.
Yeah. It's really good to have a place where there's resources and a strong community that can kind of like pave the way for you to do the things you want to do.
Yes, absolutely. I think part of it is just spreading the word out there. There's a lot of people that they think that they have to be Federer as soon as they come out here. You know, they don't realize it takes a little bit of time. So I think like the camps, the Blitz camps that are happening on Saturdays, I think that's a great opportunity for people. And then just knowing, spreading awareness. There's a group at West Gray that kind of hits sometimes, but they're not as consistent, and I think that people don't realize that U of H has a program, they have coaches, they have volunteers. There's a lot more support there. And so if people would realize that, then I think that more people would come out. At U of H, the practice is on Wednesdays from 7:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
Most of us do try to get here around 7 so that we can warm up and be ready for that practice at 7:30. You know, because every minute that you can get free coaching is a blessing. So
for sure,
we definitely try that. Sorry, there was a ball coming. And then on Sunday mornings, it is from 9 to 11.
Yeah, wheelchair athletic program is good for the community, it's good for competition, good for stress, good for everything. I have a bad day and I just come to the tennis court and hit some balls and go home so happy, like without stress, without everything, go sleep well. And we can get better if more players can join us, more community athletes from the city. If that will be awesome if some basketball players or people who care about the community to don't feel afraid to come join us. But it's a very, very good program that helps us to become better with the sport, but at the same time, this is a sport that can help you mental and with the mind and physically, and it gives you a lot of challenge. This sport gives you a lot of challenge. It's not a sport that you can play with a five, like basketball with 5 players.
Right.
And if you got mistakes, somebody covers your back. No, this one is like everything is you make a good stroke, that's your point. You make a bad stroke, you lose the point. Then you have to be immediately recovery for the next point, because it's you don't have time to be thinking, oh, how I missed that point. Oh, no, you just need to let it go and focus on the next one, because if you keep thinking at that point that you missed, the game goes so fast and you lose.
Right.
Jose Arriaga and Jennifer Mack are great ambassadors for the wheelchair tennis community. They show us how a sport in wheelchair athletics can bring about passion and hard work. They are the few in the big world of wheelchair sports. They bring out the capabilities of programs like the Adaptive Athletics program at U of H. It's important to note that U of H is one of the few colleges that provide opportunities for adaptive athletics, but we are not alone. University of Texas at Arlington, Texas A&M, Penn State, and UCLA are a few others that make promoting their adaptive sports program a priority. Fellow disabled athletes can join our community by contacting the head coach Patrick LaRosa as email address below to get more details on the location and timing of lessons and meets.